In a league where elite speed and raw power are the ultimate laws, there is one man doing the exact opposite. Nikola Jokic spends 77% of his time on the court just walking. Yes, you heard that right. He walks more than anyone else in the NBA. Picture this. Giannis Antetokounmpo is sprinting full speed like a freight train. LeBron James is chasing down blocks with explosive fury, and Stephen Curry is running through a literal maze of screens until his lungs burn. Meanwhile, the reigning MVP looks like he is casually searching for a parking spot at the local grocery store. It is honestly the strangest sight in professional sports. If you just tuned in for the first time, you might think he is lazy, out of shape, or just does not care. But then you look at the scoreboard. You look at the box score. You see him absolutely dominating the most athletic defenders on the planet. How is it possible that the slowest and seemingly least mobile player in the history of the game is putting up numbers that make peak Shaquille O'Neal look human? This is not a lack of effort. This is not a fitness issue. This is a sophisticated, high-level tactical masterclass that is systematically breaking every defensive system in the NBA. The secret behind this strange rhythm lies in something we call the processor. To truly understand why Nikola Jokic has to walk, you first have to look at the machine itself. He stands 7 feet tall and weighs nearly 300 pounds. In the modern, high-paced NBA, a giant of that size running at maximum intensity is essentially like trying to drive a heavy-duty semi-truck at the speed of a Formula One car. It is simply not sustainable. If Nikola Jokic ran like a normal guard, he would be gasping for air within the first 10 minutes. His heart would be redlining, his muscles would be filled with lactic acid, and his knees would be screaming for mercy. For a man of his massive proportions, walking is not a choice, it is a survival strategy. But here is the part that should terrify every other team in the league. Despite moving like he is stuck in slow motion, he is currently averaging 27.7 points, 12.9 rebounds, and 10.7 assists per game. He is quite literally a walking triple-double. He is the sun that the entire Denver Nuggets universe revolves around. By choosing to walk, he is not being lazy. He is carefully preserving his precious energy for the specific moments that actually determine who wins and who loses. He ensures that he can play 35 grueling minutes a night and still be the freshest, sharpest person on the floor when the game goes into a high-stakes overtime. Most superstars burn out and lose their touch by the middle of the fourth quarter. Nikola Jokic is just getting started because he spent the first 3 quarters perfectly managing his internal battery. But walking does not just save gasoline. It grants him a superpower that no track star athlete can ever hope to possess: the vision of a god. If you are the kind of fan who appreciates the genius behind the game, and you want to see more deep dives into how the smartest players are taking over the NBA, you should definitely join our community by hitting that subscribe button right now. We are just getting started on revealing the hidden layers of the Joker, and you really do not want to miss the revelation of how he uses this slow pace to manipulate every single person on the court. Take a look at this specific sequence against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Rudy Gobert is the 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. He is an athletic specimen with a wingspan that seems to cover half the court. In this play, Gobert is bouncing on his toes, his hands are active, and his eyes are darting everywhere as he prepares for a high-intensity encounter. Then you see Nikola Jokic. He is literally strolling toward the elbow like he is looking for a lost set of keys. There is zero explosion in his step. There is no tension in his shoulders. To the casual observer, it looks like he is barely participating in the game. But as the shot goes up, something strange happens. While Gobert is preparing to use his vertical leap to contest the rebound, Jokic has already moved 6 inches to the left. He is not jumping. He is just standing there. The ball hits the rim, bounces exactly where Jokic predicted, and he calmly collects it for an easy putback. How did he get there first? It is the mastery of positioning. Jokic does not need to run fast because he understands the physics of the ball better than anyone who has ever played the center position. He knows where the miss will land 2 seconds before it even leaves the hand of the shooter. This is the ultimate paradox of the NBA today. Every coach teaches their players to play hard, to run the floor, and to never stop moving. Yet, here is a man who stops moving constantly and remains completely unstoppable. To put this into perspective, let us compare him to a high-energy player like Russell Westbrook. In his prime, Westbrook was a human blur. He played every second at 100 miles per hour. While that energy is incredible to watch, it often leads to a massive amount of wasted movement. If you look at the advanced metric known as value over replacement player, or VORP, Jokic is consistently at the top of the history books. He has a higher VORP than almost any player in the modern era because every single step he takes has a specific purpose. He does not chase blocks that he cannot reach. He does not sprint into dead ends. He simply waits. When you watch a traditional center, you see them fighting for every inch of the paint with brute force. When you watch Jokic, you see a man playing a game of chess while everyone else is playing dodgeball. He is essentially a basketball genius who has realized that the more you move, the more noise you create. And noise is the enemy of precision. By walking, he removes the noise. He makes the game quiet so he can see the cracks in the defense. But this leads us to a much deeper question. Why can the best athletes in the world not just push him off his spot? If he is walking, why not just run around him? The answer is not in his feet. It is in his head. This brings us to the core of the mystery. The brain over brawn theory. Most NBA players are constantly operating in a state of fight or flight. Their adrenaline is spiking. Their heart rates are soaring over 180 beats per minute, and their bodies are flooded with cortisol. When you are in that physiological state, your brain naturally narrows its focus. You lose your peripheral vision. Your decision-making becomes impulsive. This is why you see even the greatest stars make silly turnovers or take bad shots when they are exhausted. Nikola Jokic has hacked this system. By spending 77% of the game walking, he keeps his nervous system in a state of total calm. His heart rate stays significantly lower than his opponents. This allows him to maintain a level of cognitive clarity that is physically impossible for someone who is sprinting. Imagine trying to solve a complex math problem while running a marathon versus solving it while sitting on a park bench. That is the advantage Jokic has every single night. He is not just walking, he is scanning. Think of him like a high-tech piece of military hardware. While he is lung thurng walking up the court, his eyes are performing a full 360-degree sweep of the floor. He is tracking the position of the help defender. He is noting the exact angle of the feet of the man guarding him. He is calculating the distance between the corner shooter and the baseline. Because his body is still, his mind is free to process data at a speed that feels like artificial intelligence. He sees the play develop 3 steps before it actually happens. This is the real twist. The walking is the source of his power, not a weakness he is trying to hide. It is the only way to facilitate a brain that moves that fast. What do you think about this perspective? Does seeing the game through the lens of mental processing change the way you look at a lazy play on the court? I want to know if you believe basketball is becoming more about the mind than the body in this new era. So drop a comment below and let us talk about it. When Jokic is in this calm state, he becomes a master manipulator of gravity. He knows that if he stands still in a certain spot, the entire defense will eventually shift toward him. He uses his lack of movement as a vacuum. He sucks the defenders in, waits for the exact millisecond that a teammate becomes open, and then delivers a pass with the precision of a surgeon. It is a level of control that we have never seen from a center. In the past, the center was the person who reacted to the game. Jokic is the person who dictates it. He makes the defense play at his speed. He forces the fastest athletes in the world to slow down and wait for him, which is exactly where they are most vulnerable. Now that you understand the power of the processor, we need to look at how he actually uses this to turn the game of basketball into a simple game of catch. Because once the ball is in his hands, the walking stops and the magic begins. He has developed a set of skills that allow the ball to do all the running for him. This is where he moves from being a tactical genius to being a true legend of the game. Look at his trademark full court pass. It is the ultimate proof that Nikola Jokic understands a fundamental truth. The ball always moves faster than the man. While other centers are sprinting to keep up with the fast break, he is standing near his own basket, calmly surveying the field like an elite NFL quarterback. He does not need to be at the other end of the floor to influence the play. He just needs to flick his wrist. That 90-foot pass lands perfectly in the hands of a teammate for a layup while Nikola Jokic has barely broken a sweat. This is how he remains unstoppable despite his lack of speed. He uses the basketball as a teleportation device. Then there is the move they call the Sambor Shuffle. This is a shot that should not work. He jumps off his wrong foot, fades back with a high arc, and releases the ball at a rhythm that feels completely broken. But it is not broken. It is perfectly timed, because he does not rely on a 40-inch vertical leap. He does not care how high the defender jumps. He just waits for them to reach the peak of their jump and start coming down. That is when he shoots. It is pure timing. It is pure geometry. This low-impact style is also why he is the most durable superstar in the league. Think back to late December 2025. Nikola Jokic suffered a knee injury that looked like it could sideline him for months. For any other player who relies on explosive first steps or rim running, that would have been a season-ending disaster. But for him, it was just a minor speed bump. He missed a few weeks, came back, and was immediately back to his MVP self. Why? Because his game does not require healthy explosion. It requires a healthy mind and a soft touch. He has built a career that is essentially immune to the aging process. While other stars fall off a cliff once their athleticism fades, Nikola Jokic will likely be doing this same thing when he is 40 years old. He will still be walking, still be scanning, and still be killing defenses with his brain. There is one statistic that truly captures the absurdity of his dominance. It is the distance traveled per point. For every single player in the history of the NBA who averages over 25 points per game, Nikola Jokic moves the least amount of physical distance. He is essentially the most efficient scoring machine ever created when you measure it by physical effort. He is proving that being a great athlete is not about how much you move, but about where you are when the moment matters most. Every single play, every single game, and every single record he breaks leads back to this one undeniable truth about his place in history. So, we go back to our original question. Why does Nikola Jokic walk? He walks because he is playing a completely different sport than everyone else on the floor. While the rest of the NBA is caught in a frantic race to be faster and stronger, he has realized that the game is actually won in the quiet spaces between the sprints. He is the ultimate reminder that positioning is more important than speed. He does not need to run past you because he is already standing where you are trying to go. He is the glitch in the basketball matrix. He has taken the most physically demanding sport in the world and turned it into a mental exercise. In an era of highlight reels and vertical leaps, he is a celebration of the human intellect. He proves that you do not need to be the most athletic person in the room to be the most dominant. You just have to be the smartest. Nikola Jokic is redefining what it means to be a legend in this game. He is showing us that the future of basketball might not belong to the fastest runners, but to the best thinkers. But what do you think? Is this style of play the future of the league? Or is he a one-of-a-kind anomaly that we will never see again? If you enjoyed this deep dive into the mind of the man they call the Joker, and you want to see which NBA star we break down next, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We have a lot more secrets to reveal about the game we love. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Peace!